Hello and thanks for tuning in to your LandscapeToday.net weekly U.S. weather outlook. I'm day weather meteorologist Don Day, and this is what we're looking at for the week ahead for the lower 48 states. The major weather trends, the far west, especially California, will enjoy a break in the weather for a little bit longer, although the Pacific Northwest will be getting wet and stormy again. But California, the desert Southwest, the central and southern Rockies, and portions of the southern plains have a little bit more good weather to enjoy. Cold and unsettled weather will be focused in the central, the east, and the southeast United States, something that in the week ahead we need to watch, especially early next week, as cold, freezing conditions could go far into the southeast United States, along with some rain, ice, and snow. Wet weather does return late next week to the far west, southwest, and Rockies. So as we get for the middle to the end of next week, California, you could be looking at wet weather returning again. The current jet stream pattern right now is showing why the weather's so good in the west, with this big ridge of high pressure covering the Rockies, the west coast, but then the jet stream takes a big dive all the way into Florida. This just opens the door to Canada. And this is going to be a pattern that will be rather persistent. So it'll continue to be quite cold throughout this part of the nation east of the Mississippi for at least another 5 to 7 days. Around Monday and Tuesday of next week, this area of the United States will be susceptible for developing areas of rain, snow, and ice. Freezing temperatures will be pushing pretty far into the south here, something that early next week bears watching. So folks in the snow removal business and folks who are worried about hard freezing temperatures pushing south next week, early next week, you need to watch while the west enjoys some good weather. Now, looking further ahead, as we get into Monday of next week, the ridge of high pressure flattens out a little bit, but we still have a trough in the east. Not as intense, but still troughy east of the Mississippi. That'll keep the weather into next week, especially early next week. Watch out for some wintry weather in this area here. That'll be what we'll be looking at when we look at the 7-day precipitation forecast. As you can see out here in the west, anybody that needs to get work done outdoors, the weather is going to be good for another 5 or 7 days for you. You can get a lot of landscaping work done outside. The Pacific Northwest starts to get stormy and rainy again, no surprise there. But here in the south central states, this area of precipitation mostly develops into the later portions of the weekend and early next week, and a lot of this could be ice and snow. So Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, portions of Kentucky, and along and in the Appalachians and high country here could be some wintry weather, as well as in the Great Lakes. So that'll be something to watch carefully next week. Thanks for tuning in to LandscapeToday.net. We'll update you with next week's weekly weather update. Thanks for tuning in. I'm day weather meteorologist Don Day.